And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Well, there you go. If you are a Bible believer, that particular verse doesn't leave much room for interpretation. God is talking to the serpent, the thing that tempted Eve to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and she hence gave it to her husband, and he ate, and it instigated the fall of man. But the Bible calls the tempter the serpent. I think we all got an idea in our heads of what a serpent is. The only thing, in my opinion, that can't be literal about that particular verse is the nature of the serpent. For instance, when we think about serpents, literally, we think about creatures like snakes and certain types of lizards and whatnot. So, couldn't have been that. I mean, come on now, really? But some other type of being it must have been. What could it have been? We talk about fallen angels. I know in the book of Enoch, it talks about the Watchers. The Watchers. And they were certain angels. I call them earth angels. They were put here in the vicinity on the earth and up on the earth to pay attention to people, I suppose. And the book of Enoch specifically says that the tempter of Eve was a watcher named Gadriel. In the book of Ezekiel, I believe, chapter 28, depending on what version of the Bible you have, it talks about the serpent that betrayed, that led Eve astray. It talks about it being a cherubim, an angel that was put there, assigned there to be a guardian. So I kind of correlate that to the Watcher, Gadriel, being put in a certain position to pay attention to humans, I guess, to guard them, I guess. I don't know. According to, and I believe it was the book of Ezekiel chapter 28, that it talks about that particular cherubim being placed there on purpose to be a guardian. But apparently it somehow became interested in Eve. So what exactly is it? I mean, was it some kind of humanoid creature? I don't know. I mean, I guess that's more subject matter to research, but the other part of the verse that doesn't leave much room for interpretation, though, that we seem to have no choice but to take literal, is it says that the thing is going to have seed, offspring, children, basically. And if that's true, who are these people? Who are these children of the serpent? tell you what, I've encountered a whole lot of people as of late. Um, the last few years, actually, when I really started paying attention to certain things, and it's like people without souls. I truly believe that there are people out there without souls. And you've probably encountered some of these people before and never really thought about it. But some of these people, I mean, they have a blank, empty look in their eyes. And they can, like, look you in the eye and lie to you right to your face. Even though you know they're lying, it's like there's no cognizance of, okay, he knows I'm lying, I better change up a little bit. But they're empty. They're hollow shells. Don't get me wrong, they have a mind. They have a mind that can be programmed with a mentality, with a false personality. Now, I believe these people, these children of the serpent, by observation, they were able to mimic the descendants of Adam and somehow receive mental programming to come across as people with personalities, but they have no natural personalities. They have a programmed artificial personality. And I've seen these people. You may have too. You may be in the vicinity of some of them, as am I. And you got to be careful. You really got to be careful because they mean you no good. They're sizing you up, is what they're doing. And the reason why they size you up is to engulf as much information about you as possible to keep the facade of trying to mimic real people. That's what they're trying to do. Ultimately, what they want to do, and which is what they have started doing already, they want to interbreed. They want to interbreed. And they have. They have interbreeded with people with souls. People that have no clue, that don't pay attention, have interbreeded with the seed of the serpent. And this is why you're getting all these children with all kinds of issues that they call like ADD and just able to tune out reality. Children that don't want nothing to do with reality anymore. They want artificial programming with technology. I mean, you know, the greatest apparatus for that for children in this day and age is video games. They're looking to be absorbed in artificiality because they're half-breeds. A lot of them are half-breeds. They have the serpent's genes. And kind of appears that the devil is getting exactly what he wants. Self-preservation. Preservation of his seed by intermingling and interbreeding with the woman's seed, with real people. Be careful, folks. Some of you, I'm pretty sure, get my vibe. And you know who these people are. These seed of the serpent. I know some of you can understand where I'm coming from with the half-breed, these hybrid kids now that don't want nothing to do with reality, that are weak emotionally, as was Cain, their the first son of the serpent. He became emotionally weak and hostile because he was stripped of his spiritual identity. And these people, they have no spirituality. They have no spiritual identity, which is why, like, you can be dealing with some of these people, and like you think you're in a real time reality situation, like you can be on your job. One of them could be a manager on your job, could be your boss, and they preach about teamwork, company camaraderie, doing the right thing. And you go to tell them something about a defect, something going wrong, and they look at you and they just tune that out. Because you know why? They're not interested in doing the right thing for anything. They have no programming, so to speak, to actually do the right thing, to actually have just a inkling, a measure of righteousness. They have no consciousness, which is what righteousness technically is. They're out there, the soulless ones, and they are the devil's seed. And you got to be careful, because again, they're sizing you up. They're sizing you up to try to steal your identity. And they're sizing you up because they ultimately want to assimilate your soul to replace that spiritual void that they have. I mean, they're looking for a way to do that. And as the generations come and go, their methodology is interbreeding with real people, with souls. And it appears to be working. And this is why I ultimately think that when the Bible talks about the end times, the book of Revelation, most people aren't going to make the cut. Only a tiny few are going to be God's elect, is because the majority of the folks who's supposed to be descendants of Adam could not recognize, just like Eve could not recognize, just like Adam could not recognize, they could not recognize that they were being beguiled by the serpent. Likewise, most of these people won't be able to recognize that they're being enticed and lured in by the seed of the serpent, the devil's children. The devil's children are out there and they're real, they're soulless, and they're looking to assimilate you. You got to be careful. Anyway, thank you for listening. This is Dario Thomas. I am the author of the Power Spiritology. It's on sale at Amazon.com. Subscribe to the Spiritology television network, and I'll be giving more lessons as such, just like this one, Bible lessons and other spiritual tidbits and whatnot. Thank you for listening. Be careful. God bless.